So everyone, welcome to the book launch, the Realm of the Shambhala, a complete vision of the humanity for humanity's perfection. So first I say why I wrote that book. What is benefits? What is benefits to the humanity, you know? So this title already tells. And however, we have to know how is it possible and why, right? So firstly, we all know the humanity is not perfect. And we all know the humanity is not totally happy. And we all know this world is not perfect. And we all know this world is not totally perfect, not totally wonderful. And then many ways, many people, many philosophy, religion, science, working on that. It is always working toward that, working very hard. As everybody have some vision for future. Some have negative, some have positive. I mean, some is pessimistic, and some optimistic. However, I think the most important thing is we have to realize everything is interdependent. There's nothing on this universe independent. Anything not rises independently. Nothing functions independently. So everything is interdependent. That means our happiness, joy, the meaning of the life, all has to be conditional. It's nothing unconditional. We have those words we use, unconditional, sometimes, but that just have to understand is temporarily or some degree of comparatively unconditioned. Cannot think anything when we say unconditional love, unconditional compassion, whatever. As far as what we normal people's experience in this world, all is conditional. So that's, I think nobody's argue. Even somebody's argue, you cannot win. But I think the most great thinkers whether you are religious or non-religious, scientific or not non-scientific, philosopher and psychologist, everybody really agrees. There is no room to disagree on that part. So based on this, my understanding, why we cannot have the perfection, complete vision for the like the humanity perfection. Why we cannot? The only answer for me is, until now, everybody working on that, but we working too much on the secondary cause and conditions, not the primary cause and condition. That means nobody knows what is primary condition. Of course, some people do, but we not enough emphasize on that. And we always direct to the secondary condition. For instance, it's like 2 centuries, even almost 1 century, right? The scientific development is incredible, something you cannot even, a few hundred years ago, you cannot dream things, now is already reality. All of them, I'm sure, their purpose, something make better. Something make better means people have more happiness and joy in life, something meaningful in their heart. But it didn't happen that way. Even if we have wonderful things, like you cannot dream things, we already have, but still the problems still there, or another problem arises. So the total problem didn't solve. So this is only one example. So that means what we need to become, totally happy, peace, harmony, we have to realize first, I would say, we have to realize first what's the primary conditions for this. That's one. So second, we have to know what direction we can take. That's two. Then maybe we say, the first one we say, I say, the primary cause and condition of the humanity perfection is golden age, or whatever you call. We have to connect with our inner perfection. Our inner perfection means there is unconditional love and compassion within everybody's heart, but not manifest yet. only manifest conditionally. Okay, so we have to connect on that. So how do we know we have perfect unconditional within the qualities in our hearts? We can discuss another topic, the big topic. So we don't go there yet, but how we can manifest we expand our view, which means expand or broad view, not narrow. Which means our mind becomes flexible. So that means when we are narrow-minded, we only see one aspect and we fixed on that. But when you have expanded your view, you expand your vision. I said view, you expand your view means you see bigger, larger. Expand vision means you have long future vision. If we have that, then everything becomes flexible. Because all our happiness, suffering, everything is firstly rising from our mind. We always think in something or external conditions. We think this is the problem, the causes of my problem, but actually it's rise from our mind, our perception, our view, attitude, perception. And then this three is not so good, then we don't have good intentions and better motivations. So we have to realize that. That means when we realize that, then we have unbiased mind. When I say unbiased means you don't have to be totally unbiased yet. You can take steps. But in general, people have a biased mind. Biased mind comes from narrow view, which means you see only one aspect and you fixed on that. You don't see other aspects for anything. I'm talking about for anything. So the biased mind makes us suffer. Is simple example, for instance, let's say culture shock, which means you are great suffer something not your culture. You have to experience, you deal with something not your culture. You suffer because you are not flexible. Why are you not flexible? Because you don't see a big, you see only small. You have incredible habit patterns with that small your culture, and you don't accept the other cultures. That's why I suffer you. That's why I challenge for you. The same thing your food, same thing your music, same thing your religion, same thing your race, everything. So when we have these things more large and deeper and vision, longer vision, then everything becomes flexible. Flexible means unbiased. Unbiased means less suffer, more peace. Peace and humanist come together. Why? Humanist means Anything challenges suffer means not harmonious. If harmonious means get along very well. You get along with people, you get along with environment, anything. For example, you too cold means not get along with temperature. Too warm, too hot means the same thing. If you're adaptable, that means you, but forget about it. We cannot have suddenly, quickly, the temperature is suitable for everybody. Not yet, only in Shambhala. I mean, the Bodhisattva realm of Shambhala, not yet here. But we can work toward that. Why? Because we have, firstly, all this, what I'm saying, things, like the love and compassion, you connect with this, and then even is limited, even is conditional, you working toward this, then becomes perfection. That is normal natural law. Whatever we learn, anything, first very difficult, and then become better and better, and finally you are mastery. Finally become natural, spontaneous. Same thing. So that's why we can do that. But now only challenging, people say, oh yeah, okay, so everybody agree, all religious great beings, all thinkers, great thinkers, or yes, philosophers, or science, everything is, yeah, makes sense. But, too hard to develop. Yes, true. Yes, true. Okay, not easy to become a mastery, everything. But we have to know why it's not easy. What is the problem? What does make easier? That's we have to think about. So that is everybody do together is much easier. One. Second is if you have a role model, is much better. So that means how we do make everybody let do this. We need educate for everyone. This indefeatable reasoning, we need educate for everyone. Okay. What is the role model? The role model is the Shambhala realm. So when we talking about the Shambhala, then we had narrow view. So that's why centuries, people talk about only figment of Shambhala, some aspects of Shambhala, not the whole entirety of Shambhala. So that's why I explain in this book. What does Shambhala mean and how many degrees of Shambhala? So the traditionally talk about Shambhala is only one. But if I commentate on this, these degrees of Shambhala are buried inside. So if I commentary, and then you can understand a different of degrees of Shambhala. So, but the one even talk about traditionally one, even that is good enough for role model. So which means this Shambhala, a small kingdom, did that way and transcended are perfect. And not only transcended perfect, but also they had vision to transform the whole earth, whole humanity. So that means, we just wait. Is not wait. Remember why? Because everything is conditional. Remember, we have to make cause and conditions if you want to be part of this. But if you don't want to die and born somewhere else, not part of this, then you don't have to. But either you want to join in this life, in this life, you want to transform this earth, or at least minimum level, you did very little. That means future lives you can be part of. It's up to you, everybody, up to everybody. But the important is the role model, what Shambhala did, and not only they did, but they have the vision for us. So why we not take opportunity? So that is the, I say that makes very easy, that makes everything as possible. Because some people could think like this, oh, not possible. We can transform the world, not possible. Why not possible? Because they're so bad right now and have going wrong direction already. And we talking about, this book is only published now, and we are so small community, that's impossible. Some people can think that. But is everything start by small? Nothing's, all small seeds grow huge giant trees. Huh? A small spark become a huge bushfire. So everything starts small, but as long as you're the right direction, and then very fast, can be anything fast, very fast. So that's why I have not just only hope, but I believe it can be very fast. How fast? Everybody has a responsibility. Anybody hear this vision? Everybody has some responsibility. How you spell out this vision, this inspiration. You know, basically we have to inspire to transform the world, perfect humanity, golden age. If we do that, you experience every day in your life, your individual life, you experience some degree of Shambhala, which means some degree of peace, harmony. You know, if you have that vision, at least you have better flexibility and unbiased mind who you are surrounded. Your family, your friends, your work colleagues, anybody you have to deal with. Probably you have more tolerance with religious view, racial discrimination, or the discriminations, or the intolerance usually you have. Now I have less. Why you have less? Because it's starting that Shambhala's perfect peace and harmony manifest in your mind. That's why you surround people, you get along very well. Start. Don't think about how fast and how big, huge impact, but think about start. As long as start, then could be very fast. Even if it's slow, it doesn't matter. It's a trillion times better than never start. So that's why we discourage slow. Do you have any other faster path? The answer is no. So that's why what I'm saying is, firstly, until now, why we couldn't go that direction, because not everybody together, or discrimination. Oh, this is my religion, this is your religion, or this, you know, and this is your culture, this is my culture, this is my habit, this is my race, this is you. Everything we devise everything. So I'm not saying we cannot devise anything by tomorrow, but what I'm saying, at least we understood first step. Oh, this divisiveness have no room to become a perfect. No room, for perfect peace and harmony. As long as we realize that, then we have role model, and then we have easy to have inspiration. Why? Because firstly, we understood what the primary cause and condition, what is the problem in the past until now. The answer is this. The only matter is how we do it, how fast. The how fast, we should have patience, because each start is more important than never start. Start is more important than fast. If you are not right direction, or you are only direction of the temporary solution or secondary solution, even at fast, it will change, because impermanent. It's the wrong direction. You have to change it. But if you are right direction, then it's continuous. Doesn't matter how fast or slow. But there is big possibility is going to be fast. That's, I believe. So that's why I wrote that book. Because traditionally, realm means one realm of Shambhala. But in my commentary, is not just one realm, is many realms, many degrees. But one is right now, right here. Before you hear this message, and now or later, I believe you have a difference. So that already start. Then how you can do that for how many people? Either you verbally or your actions, your conduct. How you can influence how many people? And that cannot be zero. So that's why for me, this is the best answer. Why? It doesn't, because when we say peace and harmony means either the people or any culture or environment, everything need harmonist. Nobody can against that. If somebody against this, means just selfish, narrow view, a temporary solution. That's all. So anybody have better wisdom cannot against that. That means no obstacle. There's no real obstacle. But if we say another point of view, another religious point of view, oh, everybody have to become Christian, or everybody have to become a Buddhist. In that way, you have obstacle. You have, how do you say, opposition. But this is not about you become a Buddhist or anything like that. It is about, yes, this manifestation, this role models, some role models, description come from Buddhist Tantra. You can say Buddhist Tantra because come from that range. But to me, is answers for everyone. What I mean is, like all the religious path is a temporary solution for everybody. You have to understand that. All the religious point of views is a temporary for certain people, a certain number of people, certain time, not for the whole world forever. But this, the Shambhala point of view, this perfection, peace and harmony, we can manifest in many ways. This is a solution for everyone forever. So I see this way. But if any different perspective or challenges, you welcome to. So I can try to answer. How long ago? Huh? 35. Okay. Okay then. Question, or can you say anything, your opinion, your disagreement, challenge, anything? Oh, you don't understand my English, then you can clarify. You said something like that. What do you mean?
We have one question. Is it possible that there are people who already lived in Shambhala and now they're born on Earth and live with us?
Without choice, not possible. With their choice, more than possible. So that means karmically not possible, and with their aspiration and compassion can manifest many ways, not just born one and not in the Shambhala and born here. No, means anybody come from Shambhala. That means the real source in Shambhala, only come in here manifestation. But for when we see, we don't see, we only see what humans see. We can experience what humans can experience.
So, Rinpoche, what about all the stories about looking for physical Shambhala on the Earth? Can we find Shambhala with GPS coordinates somewhere?
What GP? What does that mean?
Like in the phone, it says Shambhala is here.
Oh. The answer is not about the machine, because the machine, anybody have this machine and anybody have good technology and they can find. That's definitely not. It is about individual's karma, individual person. You can find without this or with this. It's matter of the individual's connection, not the what technology or not.
So then, Rinpoche, are you saying if someone has the right karma, they can find a Shambhala on Earth somewhere?
Yes, they can find, but other people see there's nothing. So is oh, I found this, so I can invite you. Is not like that. So everything like this. Actually, if we analyze it, everything in this world is like that. Some certain things we have similar sharing karmas. That's why we see oh similar. Okay, oh this is yellow. Yes, I agree. Oh, this is yellow color. I agree. Do you see? Everybody see? Is that yellow? Yes, yes. Everybody. Oh, 100 people agree. 1,000 people agree. Oh, this is yellow. But actually, there is no yellow. Huh? Scientifically, you check, there is no yellow. Huh? But for us, have similar eyes, so we can see similar yellow.
But Shambhala is a state, not a place.
Huh?
Shambhala?
Shambhala?
A state of mind.
Shambhala is can be place, can be. Is mind means you mean non-physical?
Not physical.
No. Shambhala can be physical, but not physical. Everybody can see it. Or one person found it, then everybody can go there. Everybody can see. No, like that. If there's 10 people can see together, maybe possible. Who knows? And 1,000 people can see together. Who knows? But the other 1,000, not possible. Or one person only. We have to understand everything is actually like that way, not only just Shambhala. Huh? We have everything, similar things we can share. But even we say, oh, this is yellow and this mat is yellow, we all agree, right? But we don't know exactly how much yellows you see or they see, and we cannot communicate. How much the degree of yellow, we cannot communicate. The same thing. Today I talk here, you all hear similar, but it never be the same. Never be the same, never, how much you understand what I'm saying or beyond what I'm saying, never be the same. You all never same the degree. You agree? It's everything like that because we don't think that way, but actually it's like that.
So Rinpoche, how can we expect that different countries that have been split and disagreeing for many thousands of years,
Yeah.
how can they quickly transform? I understand the golden age to be more about interpersonal inner transformation. How do we make all the countries transform?
Yes, sometimes if you have a long habit, then anything make difficult to understand. But sometimes the right time, right message, yeah, just suddenly people understand few seconds. So that means like the world, the majority, if enough we are the direction, the minority have no choice. Like storm wind direction. Storm wind blows this, then some plastic and this things, no choice. Even some creatures don't want to go that way, but you have to blow that way. You force that way. Or sometimes force means doesn't mean physically force, but your mind think suddenly that way. Because everybody follows everyone, right? The majority of the people follows. They don't think The majority of the world people no capacity independent thinking. Just follows. Is it true? That's why is creative and new things, making invent things only minority people can do. Very minority people. Majority people, if we can take the right direction, sometimes we could be very fast. So can anybody think about in the history, something quickly change, big movement?
The apartheid was like that in South Africa. It moved quite quickly, even though once it started as a movement, it moved quite
Yes.
quickly.
Yes.
And change happened quite quickly.
Yes. Yes.
Once
Yes.
there was
Yes.
some understanding.
Yes.
In India with Gandhi, and also
Yeah.
in Germany with the wall coming down in between East and West Berlin.
Yes.
Things like that can happen very quickly.
Yes. Yes. The whole world, something change very quickly from like hippie movement, right? These things change very fast, and the change really dramatically, and so much change, incredible, so large. So this is no more human beings, no more did. So we had the Shambhala golden age, not just humans. We have that Buddha said and Buddha prophesies, and then logically makes sense to me. Huh? That's why I just believe 100%. So that's why I can help.
Rinpoche, what's the difference between Shambhala and Daiwa Chen?
The answer is, when we're talking about Daiwa Chen, we're talking about Buddha realm. When we're talking about Shambhala, actually that is not Buddha realm. That is earthly realm and a bodhisattva realm. There is many degrees of Shambhala, some of them Buddha realm, but traditionally we talk about, and majority talk often, is not Buddha realm. It is the bodhisattva realm. Who did us? Buddha prophesies. Buddha Shakyamuni, our Buddha, is prophesies, and our the Shambhala transforming our world, a golden age. This is bodhisattva realm, not Buddha realm. So very different. But when you read this book, then you know that, oh, there is some Shambhala and Buddha realm. But nobody talked about that before. Only this, what Buddha taught, Buddha Shakyamuni taught us. This, or prophesied one, is bodhisattva realm, earthly realm. Daiwa Chen is not earthly realm.
So Rinpoche, is Kalachakra part of Shambhala or important for Shambhala?
Kalachakra means, we can understand many ways. One way is, a big way is a system, right? A system. Kalachakra means a system. But then when we understand Kalachakra deity, that means Buddha. But even not Buddha, like Shakyamuni, not manifestation Buddha is like Sambhogaka Buddha, which means more high Buddha level. So that means our Buddha Shakyamuni taught to the Shambhala king, he taught about Kalachakra Buddha and his system. So Kalachakra is, you can't say Shambhala because Shambhala is a realm. Kalachakra is deity or system. This system transforms Shambhala, and it well transforms our humanity through the practice of Kalachakra. That means Kalachakra lineage is come from Shambhala. That's why you practice other spiritual system and Kalachakra system, a different power to transform our world to golden age, must connection with Kalachakra.
Okay, so Rinpoche, is a golden age kind of like COVID, but the opposite? So it comes and affects the whole planet very quickly, but in a positive way.
Yes. Yeah, maybe fast as the effect of COVID could be. Could be few decades or could be very fast, 1 or 2 years. Who knows? When start slow and then one day burst through the no. Depend us. We are the early stage. Lifestyle. Yes, that's what I'm saying. When we changes our way of living, either community or either your family or either you are individual, you have different perception, different way of living, and you have more peace and harmony within in your life. No matter COVID or whatever things happening, but for your individual life, much more calm and harmony, experience peace. That means you individually, you had some degree of the Shambhala quality. But in general, Shambhala means the whole realm. If we become the whole world become like that, then we can call we are in Shambhala. Unity consciousness. Not yet. Yes, we can say some degree. We can say because that means you usually we are we have we have challenges to deal with people. People have conflicts, but if you have less conflict, you could say, oh, we are more unit. The consciousness level also we are more unit. You can say that, but that's not 100% yet. So some things are 100%. That means you are fully enlightened. Yeah.
Well, speaking of lifestyle, so if we go back to questions on lifestyle, there's a question about in Shambhala, like a place, do people have families like a husband, wife, and child? What does that look like? Is it like our worlds and our families relationships?
Yeah, that depends what stage of your Shambhala. For instance, like if we are transform our humanity, a golden age, probably the early status, we still have maybe family, we have still some friends, like you are most close to people, maybe you have that kind of. But we're talking about if the Bodhisattva realm of the Shambhala, then you don't have that biased mind. Oh, this is my friend. This is my family. This is not my family. You don't have that. You don't have or this is you don't have possessive mind. Or this is my wife. This is my husband. Cannot have other people. You don't have that. You don't have that attachment and possessiveness. You just free enjoy anything everywhere. There is no bias. There is no bias and no attachment, no possessiveness, no clinging on anything. Depend on the degree, which degree of Shambhala.
Rinpoche, how can we help the young people, like born in 2000 or later, so under 20? How can we help them the best to help them also create the golden age?
First, we have to understand their limit, and then also we have to understand what their quality, both their weakness and quality. We have to understand both, right? So, and then when we see in both, then we know how we approach them. What is the can make inspire them? But usually we don't understand this both, and then we just try to convince them in our own way, and it doesn't work, and then we are disappointed and frustrated. We have to understand their interest, and then their interest, you cannot leave them are free, completely zero challenging. You have to challenge in them gentle way, so then they can see their limitations, and then they can see what they need to improve. Need a lot of skills.
So if Shambhala is also a place or a realm that some can get to, how can we help our pets get to Shambhala?
Pets?
Like dog, cat, turtle, fish, pets.
Pets only we can help. You show them some Shambhala image, you can show them some Kalachakra image, Kalachakra mandala, and you say some mantras their ear, and then you pray for them. You can do that way. So you can do that way. That's no guarantee your pets can go immediately next life, but definitely helps one day. Because because everything is our self's responsibility, not somebody else. Somebody else is only helper. Huh? So that's why Buddha, even Buddha say, he can transform you. He only show you the path, and you have to take the path. So let's say if you have children, if your children don't want to study at all, doesn't matter what incredible expensive school you send, if your children doesn't want to study at all, you cannot do anything, can you? anything doesn't matter, your beloved ones, whoever, you only can help them, but you can't transform them, can you? They have to do themselves.
Okay, Rinpoche, to wrap up the question and answer section, if I were to read your book, what is the most important thing you hope I get out of the book?
My most important hope is you get inspiration and vision. We share the vision together to transform the world, golden age, which means you are in front line. That's my number one hope. But the minimum hope, I believe, is changes your perspective and changes your attitude, and that changes your individual life and surround you, everything you find peace and harmony everywhere, no matter what people complain, you have some degree of peace and harmony in your life. That means you contributing already, you're already contributing. That's I hope.
Do you have any other questions?
No? Okay. Not only question, you can say anything.
There's two more online.
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap that up. So, is Shambhala an internal realm or an external one? I'm confused.
Both extreme realm, internal realm. Or the extreme realm is manifestation of insight in internal realm. Okay, that's why when we working, we have to start from inside, not from outside. Often our failure is we always try to fix something outside and forgot fixing inside. So that's why both Shambhala, internal, external, they all related to each other. But we have to start definitely from inside. The other question?
Are there any specific exercises or practices in the book or in general that we should do to help us realize Shambhala?
Yes, of course, I have 3 huge giant books called as Unveiling Your Sacred Path, on a sacred truth, unveiling your sacred truth. This is a big exercise and study and educate yourself. And yeah, so if that is too much, then you just when you read that book, probably you discover in some exercise your own. But basically, the most simple, you have to remind yourself the peace and harmony have to start from my inside mind my view become flexible, open-minded, a flexible mind, not fixed on anything. And so your mind is become flexible, which means you are more open, unbiased, and which means you can overcome your habitual patterns. And then that makes your perception change, and that makes you have less challenges in your life, and you have increased your peace in the mind and enjoy the life. Then you see the meaning of the life. But people are usually too much distracted, so then they don't even see what is the meaning of life. So the good question is, everybody should say, what is the meaning of life? Is good job, a lot of money, and it's have husband, wife, kids, is that is a meaning of life? What after that? Then you just die. But we can't guarantee anything, because these things you think is nice, but a very short vision, like a very, very short vision. I'm not saying you don't need these things. I'm not saying that, but it's a short vision, and said then we don't have after that. We don't know what is vision after that. That's why always we are depressed, and I mean, not we all depressed all the time. I'm not talking about that, but it's often people are depressed and lost because, because we didn't really know what the meaning of life. So the problem is the meaning of life is how you expand view and vision and everything, which means it's not self-centered, something you have a bigger than self. That is the meaning of life. When we narrow down this and just me, you never be happy. Impossible. Therefore, never means I'm not talking about temporarily. You have a little small degrees of happiness, of course, but you cannot ever happy. Impossible. That statement is indefeasible.